And with that being said, I think we'll jump right into the next list, just not to waste any time, because this one has nothing to do with sports. It has to do with 2 days from now when we're all sitting down with our families and friends and we're eating. And as any good podcast should nowadays, we better have a list of our favorite things on that Thanksgiving table. And, I mean, we can just say all three together each. I want to go from three to one, though. I want you guys to tell me what your number 3, number 2, and number 1 are. And I expect this to be a little bit controversial because it always seems like somebody leaves something off that should be on someone's list. So I'm curious about this. Go ahead, gentlemen. I'll start. Zebo, go ahead.
Oh, dude, hands down, stuffing right off the jump. And you got to make the stuffing properly too, with the egg. Some people avoid the egg. That's not stuffing. That's garbage. That's bread on a plate right there for you. So I got to go stuffing, man. Number 1, just the variety of ingredients that are in that, plus the egg. It sits there, and not only is it just amazing from a taste standpoint, but you got to be strategic with it. You got to eat it at a certain point, right? It's like, you had a good first quarter, you had a good first half, right? You're chowing down your turkey, your mashed potatoes. But in order to finish the game, you've got to go after the stuffing. It's like, it's not something you eat right off the jump. You've got to like kind of get the palate in like that Thanksgiving mood, right? You got your turkey, you got your gravy, your mashed potatoes. Maybe you throw a vegetable on your plate as an excuse that you're eating healthy. But then in that second half, right, where you start to get a little bit full, that's where you got to go for the stuffing because that'll knock you out. Like after I eat that, I'm napping for at least 3 hours afterwards. So yeah, that's got to be my number 1 for sure. Ev, I'll kick it over to you.
Oh, he was starting with his number 1. I just want to say something real quick, Ev, if that's okay. I wanted to say if I had a list of my least favorite 3, stuffing would easily make that list because I think stuffing is the most overrated dish on that Thanksgiving table. Now, granted, in Zach's defense, I haven't had Mrs. Bakulik's stuffing with egg, and I'm sure I would like that a lot more. So please do not quote me on this to Mrs. Bakulik. But I still think stuffing is the most overrated dish on a Thanksgiving table. That's my personal opinion.
Mrs. Bakulik's Thanksgiving stuffing is Wegmans Thanksgiving stuffing. So, she doesn't make it herself. We just pick it up somewhere. That's
I'm 100% sending the segment to her. Go ahead, Evan.
While we're on the topic of stuffing, I'll go maybe not in any particular order, but stuffing is definitely on my list as well. Specifically in our family, shout out my mom, it's stuffing muffins. Just stuffing in the form of muffins, very popular. Last year, I think my mom mixed it up and went with normal stuffing, and she was, I don't want to say ridiculed because that was maybe a little extreme, but people they prefer the muffin format, so. Stuffing definitely on the list though. Love a good carb load on Thanksgiving.
If we're talking carb load, I gotta bring in number 3 for me personally. Give me that sweet potatoes with those marshmallows melted on top as one of my side dish. It should really be a dessert, but I mean that is one of my year to year favorites. And to be fair, normally I always prefer regular potatoes, so I won't reveal the rest of my list yet. But I will say this list is carb heavy and. Sweet potatoes, the one time a year that I absolutely love them and prefer to have them on my plate is at Thanksgiving when they're cooked just right with those marshmallows melted on top. That perfect, sweet and soft, side dish. Oh, that's one of my favorites. That cracks top 3 for me.
That's a good point. That's why I like the stuffing because I never have it any other day of the year. It's so random to me that it's just like such a random dish. But Zach, carry along with your.
Oh man, give me some broccoli casserole. Some broccoli casserole. It's slept on for like very sure. Like not a lot of people eat it. I'm not even sure if it's necessarily a traditional Thanksgiving dish by any means, but we sure make it. We make it every year and. Maybe it's not even like the taste of it. It's very good, right? Like the chicken broth, the broccoli, the breadcrumbs, like the panko that you put over it. Like all of the ingredients, like they turn out to be like it's a masterpiece. Like it's amazing. But I think the reason I like it so much is because whenever I eat broccoli casserole, it's just like a reminder to me, like a psychological reminder that it's the holiday season. Like that's the only time I ever try broccoli casserole. I never just like randomly like decide like March 5th, yeah, I'm gonna wake up and make some broccoli casserole today. No, like that's only a November and December thing. And then it just disappears. Like I don't think about it once until next November. So that's just kind of like the way I roll with some of these dishes. But yeah, broccoli casserole's got to be one of them. And I will give credit to my mom here. She does make that one, so she does not pick that one up from Wegmans. I can confirm.
Love it, love it. Zach's making sure he actually gets fed this Thanksgiving. So
Exactly.
smart save there, buddy.
Love it.
Kick it over to Ev.
I'm gonna copy size. Sweet potatoes definitely on my list specifically because I definitely eat them year round, but it's not the same as Thanksgiving when you get the brown sugar there, the caramelization, you get it all going together. So it is like you said, it's almost more of a dessert. So it's kind of random to be eating it with the rest of your meal, but that's why it's so perfect. So I was between that and the traditional mashed potatoes, but yeah, it's going with the yams.
You're definitely right. It's a good balanced dish, right? Like it's like everything else on the plate is savory. Or like stuffing, for example, and then you get the little mix in. So I'm here for that. Number 2 for me, I actually think this one slept on in people's lists because whenever I see the list, nobody seems to mention this. But gravy, guys, like well-made gravy is slept on because the thing with gravy is even if there's other things on your plate that you're not the biggest fan of, if the gravy's good, you just pour it on top. You don't just have to use it for the turkey. You can put it on your mashed potatoes. You can put it on anything else on that plate. And it makes that dish 10 times better. So I think gravy is like a universal like Thanksgiving savor that I don't think gets enough credit. So I'm giving gravy the number 2 spot on my top 3 list because I just think of the multifunctionality of gravy is moving it up that list for me. It's like that dual purpose running back, All right, go ahead. Gravy is the Le'Veon Bell of the Thanksgiving table. There you go, Zach.
Yeah, you got the mashed potatoes as the rushing yards and the receiving yards of the gravy. I feel you. All right, for my last one here, what's also slept on? We're talking burnt turkey. I don't care if it's white turkey or dark turkey. We're talking burnt turkey. Now, this is deep fried turkey that goes wrong. This is no nonsense. This might burn your house down. You might need to call 911 and have them on speed dial. I have never tried the deep fried turkey, but I have relatives that have experimented with it, and it's a reason why we normally don't cook very often. Had a couple close calls. No houses that have burned down officially, but we have had some small scares. But yeah, burnt turkey. Hey, I think it's not necessarily just the taste, but it's the entire experience that comes along with it. Just getting to see people think and experiment, like thinking that deep frying a turkey is going to go well. They're all kind of sitting there. They put it in there. Next thing you know, something's on fire. So I think the whole process, start to finish, is what I love so much about burnt turkey. That's my last one.
Love that. I keep copying people. Mine is turkey as well. Not burnt and burning the house down style though. Just well, and to Sai's point, the way you get the cranberry sauce in there too on top of it. The gravy on it, it's the whole, different array of sauces and, combinations that makes it what it is.
Here's my super hot take before I give you guys my number 1. Prior to last year, and it's funny Zach brought this up because last year was the first year we did fried turkey in my family. And for context, every year for Thanksgiving, we go to my aunt and uncle's place in Bramilton, and that's our spot. The whole family gets together. We have family, friends. There's always somebody new that comes every year, and it's tradition, right? And every year we used to brine and bake the turkey. And when we used to brine and bake the turkey, it's not that we didn't make a great turkey. We did. I'm just not the biggest fan of turkey compared to other meats, right? Like I prefer the ham. I prefer the other meats. So up until last year, turkey wouldn't have even come close to cracking my list. If anything, actually, turkey was one of the things I was least excited to eat on the Thanksgiving table because I just feel like as well as you could bake a turkey, it doesn't come out great. But last year we fried it, and I will give you credit, Zach. I don't know about the burnt aspect, but frying that turkey and then adding that gravy or cranberry sauce, as Evan said, that's the perfect combination. So if you were to do that, I think turkey could potentially crack my list. However, number 1 for me is my family specific, my family special, just potato casserole. I'm not talking sweet potato. I'm talking the unhealthiest version of a dish you could ever have. We're talking like just straight potatoes, sour cream, like crunch, crisp, top it off with cornflakes, bake it with every unhealthy thing you can find in your house, put it all together and cook it. And it is just a medley, a monster medley of deliciousness. And it is literally my favorite thing every year. It's the thing I look forward to every single year. And it's what I will basically stuff my plate with on Thursday and nothing else. Like I mean, I'll eat other things, but that's just gonna dominate everything else because, man, potato casserole, dude. And I live for it. So that's
Yeah, I
my
haven't heard one vegetable mentioned between the three of us, maybe outside of the broccoli casserole, which is still very unhealthy. I think what we're all saying and telling our audience is, hey, the best way to spend Thanksgiving is when you have so much on your plate that it's a 50-50 shot you even survive the night. I love it. I want to try all of that side. I can't admit that I've ever tried potato casserole before, but it seems like a bit of a risk that I'm willing to take here.
I might have to have the MDS boy bring over some leftovers for the MDS boys for like a late night Black Friday one of these years or something, like our old school traditions. We'll have to do maybe one day in the future we'll have an MDS Thanksgiving, where we host each other's families. Let's put that on the calendar.
I feel like my black turkey or my burnt turkey would be perfect for Black Friday, so I'll bring that too.
Zach, you 100% will not be in charge of the turkey.
That's all right.
If we have an MDS Thanksgiving, Zach, I would be like, Zach, you're in charge of bringing the pie from the store because at least you can't mess that up.
I'll bring 40 McNuggets from McDonald's and throw them on the dish.
I'm crying. Sorry.
Patrick Barnett's invited as well. He's going to eat all of them.
Oh, boy, that's good. That's good.